Welcome to the camper.
Yeah, we're in it, and I'm Tony.
I'm Peggy.
And we're two RV industry veterans who travel part-time
in this small trailer.
looking to share big adventures and help you with great tips,
tricks,
and discounts.
So we're sitting in the camper because we can't wait to leave tomorrow.
Yeah, as we record this, it is Monday. But we are leaving tomorrow, Tuesday. And of course, this comes out Thursday.
Yeah. So we figured you might as well get used to seeing us in the camper. This will be the way it is for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
But we're at home because we haven't left yet, but we will be first thing in the morning.
We will be lefting in the morning.
Yeah.
So to speak. So that's, we're very excited.
So of course, while we're getting ready, the refrigerator's on, and because Tony's a nut, because he always admits it anyway, well, it just turns out that our Starlink actually works better than our home internet, which is kind of silly, but it also works better in here because this is where we keep the router. So why not? We're in here, and we're keeping all that powered with our system.
Yeah, with our Mastervolt power system designed by ABC Upfitters. And we are, using the power of the sun to power, well, we will be using it to power our adventure. I guess our adventure has started now.
Our adventure has begun.
And something I've noticed from ABC Upfitters is that they're starting to do more and more instructional videos about their systems that they install. And there are some common components that they typically install from Mastervolt, like a control panel and certain inverters and battery systems and things like that. And so they've really been stepping up the video game to make it just easier to use these systems. And that's something that I really appreciate about them. You can give them a call and they will actually answer questions. They've started Facebook groups for those of us who have these systems. And they really make it not just, here's your system, goodbye.
Yeah, here's our system, make it fit.
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing. Do you have a van? Do you have a giant fifth wheel?
Right.
Do you have a travel trailer as we do?
Right.
They are very good at listening to what you want to accomplish.
Yep.
And putting in a system that's thoroughly engineered that just works.
Yes.
And that's, knowing that our Starlink worked well, what I basically did is I just turned on the inverter here in the trailer, fired up the Starlink, and it's been, a couple weeks now that we've just been using the Starlink from inside the trailer in our house.
Right. Luckily, his office is right on the other side of that wall.
Yeah.
So he has the best feed, which is fine. He does the most work.
Yeah. But it's just, it's something I didn't think, oh, am I going to get, have issues or blah, blah, blah. No, turn on the inverter, plugged in the Starlink, bing, bang, boom. We were off and running. Refrigerator, we didn't bother turning it off again.
We didn't even bother emptying it. I found things in there like, oh, we should have been eating this while we were home.
Yeah. So it's just a really good system. And if you would like a really good system that fits your needs, whatever size they are, our friends at ABC Upfitters are really good people to speak with. And you can do that by giving them a call at 574-333-3225.
That's 574-333-3225.
Yeah, really good people. Of course, there'll be a link below. There'll be a link below in the show notes. Yeah, below and show is Beno. Didn't you know that? Didn't you Beno that? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Silliness.
Well, you might not have noticed that we're both wearing shirts from various conventions at FMCA. And the reason is because we are actually speaking with Chris Smith from FMCA today, and he is giving us a great update on what's going on over at FMCA.
Yeah, and so without any further ado,
let's hear from Chris.
Indeed.
Today we're honored to be joined by Chris Smith, the CEO of FMCA. Chris, thank you for joining us. We have talked to FMCA and about FMCA quite a bit, But there's some new stuff going on, and so we wanted to just kind of give everybody a update of what's happening around there.
Yes, you guys saw the announcement we sent out last week. We are, as we like to say, we're expanding the family. So we are now allowing a new level of membership called Pathfinder. And the name kind of speaks for itself. It's someone who is trying to decide what path to take towards RV ownership. And we feel like we're a pretty good resource to help those people.
One of the things that I don't believe a lot of people know is that the FMCA has a tremendous vetted resource library of really good information about becoming an RVer or making your RV experience better.
Right.
Yeah, so we just kind of stepping back. I mean, FMCA has been around for a while. We've been around for over 60 years now, and education's kind of one of those cornerstones of kind of why we exist and what we feel like we do well. And what you're referring to is FMCA University.
Yeah.
So we have hundreds of articles that anyone that's a member has full access to. There's no additional fee. It's just part of your dues. And what we do is we have a nice education committee formed of volunteers, and what they've done is they've taken a lot of the articles and information we have, put it into kind of a lesson format, and then they also have at the end quizzes you can take to kind of test your knowledge, make sure you understand the content, and you can kind of brag to your friends. You get different levels of attainment, and you can eventually get cool stuff. I mean, if you get every quiz done and take the test, you get a free year membership. So
wow.
We try to reward people for going on there and educating themselves. So yeah, that's included with dues. I know some other clubs have that resource, but they do charge additional. We do not. That's just part of your dues.
So
I knew about the resource library. I had no idea about the quizzes and all of that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you're into badges and achievements, go on there and take all the quizzes, and we will reward you. Yeah.
Well, so is that available to the Pathfinder members? Because Pathfinder is sort of a membership light a little bit, right?
Yeah. So just the Pathfinder, the only difference between a Pathfinder and a family member, obviously, is owning versus not. With a Pathfinder, you do get digital-only magazine, and you can't hold office within FMCA, but you get access to all the other benefits.
Okay.
So while some of the university content is, kind of geared towards owners, a lot of it's content that someone that's interested can find useful, to kind of educate themselves. So, Pathfinders have full access to the library, just like regular members do.
Okay.
And you just had a national convention in Arizona last month, I think, that we missed, unfortunately.
It's been a couple months now.
Has it been?
Yeah.
And there were some programs specifically for the Pathfinder members there, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so it was back in March in Pima County Fairgrounds in Tucson, Arizona, and we kind of soft launched the Pathfinder there. What we did is we had intro to RVing seminars on site, and we did a lot of promotion within the Tucson area to non-owners, because we found out a lot of people that come to the event through public gate. I would say it's probably about half and half. Half of them actually own an RV and half of them don't. So we kind of use that as our kickoff to have the seminar, get some Pathfinder prospects, to make sure that before we fully launched it, that everything in our association management software was set up correctly and it would all flow properly. So yeah, we had 3 days in a row of doing an intro to RVing seminar for them.
Oh, so that's really, so somebody who's kind of thinking about joining us in this crazy lifestyle, that's a great way to to get sort of acquainted and avoid some of the pitfalls that people have. But something I like about your resource library is that it's vetted by people who know what they're talking about, as opposed to asking a question on social media and man, the answers are all over the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of the kind of the content layout and the questions were all done by, again, our education committee, who are volunteers, and most of them have been RVing for a very long time. So they're the perfect people to kind of make sure the content we're putting out there is true, accurate, and again, with the quizzes and some of the other stuff that we include, it makes it fun too, I think, to kind of go through and participate.
And kind of helps people, learn more and absorb the information, which is good.
Right.
But I'm going to step back, because I know there are some people who listen to our podcast or watch the videos don't really know much about the FMCA. So let's start even further back. What is the FMCA and who is it for?
Yes, like I said before, FMCA has been around since 1963. So, we've been in the RV industry for a long time. For about 56 or so of those years, we were motorhome only. And we kind of saw, 5-6 years ago, the landscape has been changing for a while, but it's really started changing to where, the towable fifth wheel market is, that's the dominant market in the RV industry.
Right.
And kind of the slogan we had when we expanded to allow those units was, it's about the person, not the RV, right? Yes, there are topics and content that are motorhome specific, but a lot of the stuff that we were already doing pertained to anyone that owned an RV, any type. So we did expand and allowed that group in about 6 years ago, and we went from 100% motorhome to now we have 15% of our membership are towables. So
Interesting.
So, then we kind of looked at, and what sparked the Pathfinder is I received a study from RVIA. And what really struck me is while there's 12 million or so RV owning households now, there were about 21 million households that intended to own an RV. And half of those intended to do so in the next 5 years. So I kind of stepped back and I said, again, one of our cornerstones, one of our pillars of existence is education. We have a magazine, we have just a load of content that we gear toward, the education side. And you kind of look around, like you said before, you can Google anything. And you can get an answer on anything. Now, whether it's reliable or not, that's, you have to figure that out for yourself, maybe sometimes the hard way. But we kind of said, look, we already have the content. We really see a segment of the RV population that is being really underserved, and we want to be that trusted resource who has 60 years of experience that can help them. Because, buying an RV, it's not like buying a car. It's a whole different process to figure out what you want and come to that conclusion. And again, we want to be that trusted resource for them. So that's kind of how we got to where we're at as far as allowing them. And the quick pitch is, again, education's a big part of FMCA. The benefits are obviously a big part. A lot of people want something in return for their money, and we try to provide a wide array of benefits. And it's hard to list all of them because there's so many.
Sure.
There's some that really stand out to me. The safe return home, tire discount, going to the conventions and rallies, chapters for specific interests or specific brands of RV.
Or specific locations.
Yeah, or locations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so definitely the social aspect is another big part. I know you guys have been to a few events. We have 2 international conventions per year, a lot of chapter rallies sprinkled in there, area rallies as well. 250 chapters, like you said. If you have an interest or an RV type, or if you live in a certain part of the country, you'll find a group out there that you can join if that's what you choose to do. Yeah, like you said, I think one of the big things that people tie to us is the tire program, because we were the first ones really to have that as part of a membership benefit. So a lot of people tie that to us and assist. Like you said, that's a big one. Really, it's a $200 benefit included with your dues, right? Once you enroll as a member, you're automatically a part of that benefit, and you're covered right away from day one.
And that's incredible. So it's basically, if you have a medical issue out on the road and you need to get you and your rig, or not you, but whoever is not having the medical issue and the RV back home, that's something the FMCA can arrange for, and that's part of your membership.
Yeah, a big part of that benefit is what you just said. If you do have a medical emergency and you have to go to the hospital, or if you can't drive and you have your spouse with you, travel partner, kids, grandchildren, pets, they'll take care of not only getting your RV home, but also getting those people traveling with you home as well. And if you do go to a medical facility that cannot treat you, the benefit does also pay to get you to the closest facility that can. So it really is. I mean, it's peace of mind when you're on the road. That, because getting your RV, if you're on one side of the country and you have to get it home, to the other side, that's not only expensive, but a lot of planning on your part. So we kind of take the financial burden off, and also the planning burden as well.
That makes it more stressless. Knowing that it's okay to be out there because you've got backup if something goes badly.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point.
I like that. I like that.
And another thing I know that so in addition to the Pathfinder program, you now can do monthly payments for a family membership as well. Yeah,
again, we're trying to. This idea really came about, kind of COVID, when things got a little weird in the world and finances became a little tighter for a lot of people. We wanted to find ways to not make the price a barrier, right? Because I think no matter if you're paying yearly dues up front or you're paying monthly, we give you value, and we don't want to have anything be a barrier to finding that out. So. We've seen the kind of the monthly option work for a lot of different companies, and we thought it would be good for us as well to give our members another way, not only to join, but you can also, if you're a current member, switch over to that monthly fee as well. And we've seen really great results so far from launching that. So yeah, just another way to join the family.
Great.
Yeah, so that's good too. And then another question that I see all the time on the various social media places: how do I get on the internet while I'm on the road?
Right.
And you've expanded Tech Connect,
the Tech Connect system
significantly.
Yeah. So we already had Verizon and AT&T. The only major carrier we were missing was T-Mobile, and we did bring them on back in about mid-January. So it's nice that we have all 3 major carriers, because you guys travel all over. One may work the best in one place, and you travel for a day or two, and then it's number 3 out of the top 3.
Right.
So we wanted to give people all 3 major carriers, and not only that, but with T-Mobile, we were also able to work out providing cell phone plans as well. So for the first time, we do have phone plans as part of the Tech Connect package.
And it's a very affordable phone plan, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think we're very, very competitive on the phone side.
Yeah.
It is bring your own device, so we don't have the option like we do with the hotspot plans where you can rent equipment from us. So you do have to have your own phone. But if you already have a phone and you want to save a lot of money on your monthly bill, the switch over is easy. You port your number in and you're up and running. Pop a SIM card in, that's all it is.
I believe it's $20 or $19.99 a month for that.
That's correct. $19.99 a month, unlimited text, talk, and data. Yep.
Yeah, which is really affordable.
Yeah.
And then with the Tech Connect, I believe you're also able to get higher prioritization of the data service for FMCA members.
That's correct. Yeah, we were able to work out with them that our members on the T-Mobile towers, wherever they're at, they have top priority, like you said, to the network. So let's say, heaven forbid, you're somewhere where there's a something weather-wise has happened where it's really messed up the congestion on the towers. You have top access to the tower. Essentially the same access that a first responder would have. So it really is a nice benefit to know that no matter where you're at, you're going to have connectivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another nice thing is the people who provide the answers are FMCA people.
Right.
So rather than talking to someone in some strange place, you're talking to an FMCA team member
who really understands the service.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big selling point for us is the customer service, right? You don't have to call an 800 number where you might have to wait 30 minutes, an hour. We have 3 full-time employees in our Tech Connect department who are fully trained on all the plans, all the devices, and we really refer to it as white glove service, right? I mean, you can call or email and you're going to get someone not only that's knowledgeable, but also, like you said, is an employee of FMCA and understands that this person's a member and we're going to give them, top-notch service when they need us. Yeah.
And then for data consumption, is it unlimited data or is it unlimited to a certain point, or how does that play out?
So it is unlimited data. It's like a lot of plans where you may be network managed at 100 gigs, but we have not really seen that come into play. So it truly is unlimited. There's no hard throttle, and we haven't had anyone report that, call in and say, hey, I'm at 101 gigs and I can't. So, so it truly is unlimited on the T-Mobile.
Okay, great.
Man, that's, really one of the best ways of getting connected besides if you have a Starlink dish. This is a great way to go. And to be clear, this is not included in your membership, but is available to you if you are a member.
Right.
Obviously. And another service like that is the roadside assistance program.
Yeah.
Which we looked at, and I think FMCA has the best roadside assistance program out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people look at some of the other roadside providers, and a lot of them, what they'll do is they'll, I'm sure you guys know, they'll heavily discount that first year, and it seems like a really good deal. Then you get the renewal notice, and it's, 2 or 3 times what you paid to sign up. There's no bait and switch with us. There's no, we'll give you an amazing price the first year, and then we'll pull the rug from under you. It's solid pricing. I mean, we haven't had a price change in, it's been a while, 5 years, 6 years. The provider we have, Safe Ride, I mean, they're probably the biggest player in the game as far as roadside assistance, and they've been a great partner this whole time. And our pricing, I think, is very fair and very competitive. And with roadside, you're always going to get complaints and issues, but
of course,
my car, I had an issue about 2 weeks ago. My car overheated, and I was ready to just start walking home after about 45 minutes. So people don't want to be stranded on the side of the road, but the true issues we have with the plan are few and far between. Again, these guys there's a reason they're the biggest provider.
That's good.
In the country.
Well, and for those who don't know, all roadside assistance programs use contracted towing services.
Yeah, it's not
So
like
it's-
Chris is going to drive a tow truck out there and help you.
Right. Or AAA. even.
Or what I'm saying is any like FMC. It's not an FMCA employee that's going to do it.
Right.
FMCA contracts with a local tow truck or system, or service, and some places it's just hard to find those services, no matter how great you are.
Yeah. Or they're just busy because there's a lot of calls.
Or that, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it's not just that, but I think like in a lot of industries, the tow industry is seeing a labor shortage. That's kind of when I've talked to Safe Ride, that's a big issue they've had, is they're having a hard time finding an overabundance of providers for towing. But again, they're taking care of our members, and again, the major problems are few and far between.
Right.
And if we have had an issue that gets to the office or gets to me, a simple conversation with Safe Ride, and there's usually a good resolution to where it may not have been a perfect scenario, but we have such a good relationship with them, and they understand the value of our relationship that they're willing to make it as right as they can. So if you do sign up and have a problem, just give us a call at the office, and we'll help you get some resolution on it.
Excellent.
yeah, and something that I think is also good for the towable people is they will not only haul your tow vehicle but your trailer too. And that not all roadside assistance will do that. So we know somebody who they broke down, the tow service came, it wasn't FMCA. They towed away the truck, left the trailer, and this trailer got stolen.
Yeah.
And it was a vintage trailer, so it was not a good situation.
Right. Yeah. So we talked a second about Pathfinders have like all that access. The one thing that they only get the magazine digitally, but tell us about the magazine too for the people who aren't I don't want to say just Pathfinders. That makes it sound bad. For the people who have RVs.
Yeah, so we've been producing the magazine for over 50 years now. So again, it's one of those big educational tools we can provide to members and Pathfinders alike. I think there's a lot of information they'll find useful in there. One change we did make recently that you guys may or may not have seen is starting with the June issue, it will be bi-monthly from that point forward. So we will, I'm sorry, it starts in July. So June is the last monthly issue, then July will be July, August. So we'll go from 12 issues a month down to 6, but the content's still going to be the same as ever, and not only in print form, but like we said, it's in digital form as well. So yeah, it's one of our, whenever we survey members, it's always a top 2 or 3 benefit, because it's that one thing that everyone gets, and we always refer to it kind of as our house accordion, right? We have email, but not everyone checks their email, or they might just quick delete. The magazine's the one thing that we provide to every member that kind of keeps them informed about what's going on with the association.
That's very good. Well, and I'm going to say, if you are considering joining the FMCA, first of all, do. And secondly, go to local events or especially the national conventions. I mean, there are golf cart parades and tremendous seminars, and there are all kinds of things to spend your hardly earned money on.
For sure.
And I mean, on and on. And it's just, it's funny because the people we meet at the FMCA seminars or the FMCA conventions that we've been to have, a lot of them have become friends that we run into on the road. And I mean, the value of that can't be understated. It's pretty darn cool.
Well, we just got a wind gust that's rocking the
we're
trailer.
literally, it's rocking and rolling here.
And
on the just real quick on the events, you've described it perfectly. FMCA formed by a group of about 10 RVers getting together to watch a solar eclipse. And it's kind of grown from that one gathering to what it is today, where we have 66,000 members, and we put on 2 conventions and 10 area rallies and hundreds of chapter rallies. So the social aspect's a huge part of what we do. And we realize, you know, going to especially the national conventions, it's a big commitment, not only time-wise, but money-wise. So we try to make it to where if you want to be busy and you want to be entertained and you want to fill your days, we're going to find a way to do it, whether it's seminars, education, hundreds of vendors at the exhibit hall, evening entertainment, daytime entertainment, just anything you can. Donuts. If you say you're bored there, then
you've been doing something wrong.
You're doing it wrong for sure.
As Peggy said, donuts and ice cream. I mean, my gosh, can't forget that. And also, if you are a Pathfinder or just a regular family member, there's almost always RVs for sale.
Yeah.
So you can upgrade, downgrade, side grade, whatever, and you could come in with RV from the early days of the FMCA and leave with something brand new and shiny.
Yeah,
and that's a big part of why, you know, on the public gate side, we get always a strong showing wherever we go, is because we do have, you know, display coaches, display RVs, where people come in, whether they own one or not, they can walk through, they can ask questions of all the different dealers that are there, and the display RVs are definitely a big draw as well.
Yeah.
Well, and in fact, when was the last time I saw Steve Harvey at a convention shopping RVs?
Yeah. And the last time we were in Perry, Georgia, someone snapped a picture, and I didn't get to see him, but they snapped a picture and posted them on Facebook, I believe. But you know, we've had some. We've had some big names before. Someone told me before my time, like Michael Jackson was at an event once. He came on and bought an RV, brand new.
Wow.
Going years back, we had George Bush as while he was president as a speaker at the event. So we had Solly a few years ago.
Wow.
As a guest speaker at the event. So we've had some big names show up.
Yeah. But it's just it's a good group, and to me the best way I've found of making friends is don't miss the morning donuts, because you'll find people and you start, you know, we all have one thing in common. We're all RVers or want to be RVers. Yeah. And there you are starting talking about, I modified this, or this broke, and next thing you know, you got a friend.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
well, I always tell this story. I just go along that line. My brother, a few years back, he bought a Winnebago, a Class C, and he didn't really know what he was doing. It just sounded like a good idea to travel with his family, like a lot of people. You know, he didn't really probably do as much homework as he needed to, and he called me one day and he said, "What do I do? Like, how do I learn how to use this thing?" And you know, he's here in Cincinnati. That's where our headquarters is, and we do have a FMCA-owned campground here in town, where members get really nice discounted pricing, you know, when they stay here. So if you're coming through Cincinnati on the way to or from somewhere, make sure you stop in and stay.
Yeah, for sure.
But I told him, I said, here's the best thing you can do. I said, go down to Newtown. That's a little suburb here in Cincinnati. I said, go to Newtown where our campground is. Stay there for a night or two, and here's what you do. I said, walk out your door, stand out, you know, where everyone can see you, and just start kind of scratching your head. Look like you don't know what's going on. I guarantee you a member will come up. And he said 2 or 3 of them came up, answered all of his questions, showed him how to do everything. And so it kind of goes along with what you said. I mean, our members, I think Pathfinder's perfect for us, because our members love being social and love helping each other. And I think it's a perfect fit. Yeah.
I agree.
You know, Chris, something that I don't really hear a lot of talk about, and I don't think I knew about it until they approached me, but the FMCA Adventure, it's hard to pronounce because there's not 2 A's in the middle, but FMCA Adventure it kind of combines the magazine sort of aspect and the social aspect, because it's all family members that write the articles in that. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, and I think it's another tool that we're going to push big for the Pathfinders. I think it gives them good insight. It kind of expands more in my mind to like the lifestyle side of it too, because like you said, the members write a lot. So it's not all the technical, here's what you need to know about all the components of your RV. It gives more insight into the lifestyle. I think the issue that we've had kind of really pushing traffic there is we kind of made it its own URL, and I think we're going to bring it back under FMCA.com.
Okay.
We've had a little trouble trying to drive traffic because of that. So I think once we get that complete, you'll see us push that a lot more, because it is a great resource, I think, for especially the Pathfinders.
It's very good reading.
Yeah, and
I like it a lot.
You're right. It was a little challenging to find, so bringing it under the website would be a good idea. Well, is there anything that we've missed that we should share with everybody about joining the FMCA other than do it now?
I think the one thing with Pathfinder that I'll say is, we have created a Facebook group, and we're not really, if someone joins and it's called RV Curious. So if you're looking for a Facebook group to get information, if you're looking to RV, just started, I would suggest joining that. We did start that page, but you will not see FMCA promoted within that group. I mean, the intent really is to allow, obviously we've encouraged our members to go in so they can be a resource. If someone asks a question, we'll have some engagement, we'll have some back and forth. You'll have a resource that can answer your questions, and it's not, we're not selling FMCA. We just want to, create a place where people can go and ask our members. Like I said, our members are more than happy to help anyone with questions they have. We'll also have a newsletter. It's not up there yet, but we'll have a newsletter that people can sign up for, where once a month they'll kind of get a kind of a high level topic that they're probably interested in and get a lot of detail within that topic. Again, just a good group to join, a good newsletter that we'll be putting out to help those trying to enter the lifestyle.
Excellent.
Sounds good. Well, I'm happy to see new and improved things happening at the FMCA, but there's also long-time things that have been cornerstone reasons that we've been members for years. So,
like the first year that towables were allowed in.
Yeah, we were right there.
We were part of the 1%.
Give us our money, or take our money.
The 1% of towables that belong to FMCA.
I've never been part of the 1% before. Oh.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for spending some time with us today and giving us some updates and information about FMCA. We sure do appreciate your time.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. Really
Always a pleasure. Well, we're going to miss you in Redmond, which is the next big convention.
I'm so sad.
But we'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah.
You better. That's 2 in a row.
I know.
Strike 3.
I know.
This is the first time in a very long time that we've missed 2 national conventions in a row. And we'd love to go to Redmond, and we love going to Arizona. So.
We'll get back in the swing of things.
We will. So hopefully you learned a little something. FMC really is expanding what they do, and what they have always done, they've done well. And it's a very welcoming organization. So if you are not a member, and I would look into it. I just think it's been worthwhile for us the whole time we've been RVing, and there you go.
And one of the great benefits, as we talked about, are like all the gatherings, there's the international conventions, and then there are the regional. And because we've lived in 2 different regions, we got to be part of both regional gatherings. And those are usually like annual. And then there's so many chapters.
Well, there's ones for trains.
Yeah.
There's ones for specific brands of RVs.
Right.
There's there's one called the Frustrated Maestros.
That's right.
Where they get together and play music at the conventions. I love the Frustrated Maestros.
Yes.
I am a frustrated maestro.
That's right, you are. And I am frustrated that he tries to be a maestro. But there's other places also to look for festivals and gatherings. So if there aren't enough gatherings for you through FMCA, we talked to Road Trip Mojo a while back, and we'll put a link to podcast number 194. And we spoke to Road Trip Mojo, and that's what they do. They do a lot of traveling for music festivals.
Yeah, and that's where we're sort of going. This trip, we're going to the Camp Carpe Diem, which is sort of a beer focused.
Yeah.
So where we're going is ultimately we're ending up at Camp Carpe Diem in Arkansas.
Yep.
And
Hot
it's
Springs,
kind of
Arkansas.
Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's sort of a beer focused get together, but there's a hammock university or hammock gathering or something.
Gathering space, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
They do a lot of mountain biking, so we won't participate in that, but we are taking our electric bikes.
Yeah, we are bringing the electric e-bikes.
While they're out doing some 40 miles straight up the mountain thing, we'll take some little 3-mile trail and we'll do our own version of
sitting
biking.
in the hammocks, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, it's by the way, another throwback. We put the flated truck camper or air topper back on the truck yesterday, and
you did?
Yeah, it took like 15 minutes or so. That thing, I really like that thing. So if we're gonna cross paths on this adventure, you will get to see it if you want to.
That's right.
And maybe if you don't want to, you might see it.
You might
anyway.
have to see it
you
anyway.
You never know. You never know. So what's cooking?
So I'm going to do a little bit of a tease. What I'm going to do is revisit the biscuits and gravy breakfast that Cindy made for us while we were in Quartzsite.
Which was really good.
We're going to put a link to that breakfast, which it could also be done in a cast iron, but she did it in her Omnia oven, and we just got an Omnia oven.
Yeah.
So this is just kind of a tease for both of those things. I have a new recipe, and I've decided to hold off until I can make it in the Omnia oven so that I can next week report on the recipe and the Omnia oven both at the same time.
Well, I mean, everybody out there, raise your hands if you do not like your RV oven. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of you, it seems, don't like the oven in your RV. So what this Omnia thing is, and we'll put a link, we did do a story about it, and we have Cindy's recipe, but it's essentially, it looks like a bunt pan, and it sits on your stovetop, and it works like an oven, and it's from like Sweden or Denmark, somewhere like that. And anyway, we'll put a link and you can see it, and it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah. But this week we're going to report on a gadget that is going to come in very, very handy because the weather is getting warmer and warmer, and we're going to be on the road a lot. And so we are, as we speak, I've got the ice maker running, making a bunch of ice to put in our Dometic Go hydration jug with power faucet.
Ooh. So what that thing is it's essentially half a jerry can. Then it's made out of plastic. And so we put it in our back seat, and as Peggy said, we fill it with water and ice. You could put margaritas. Probably not a good idea.
Probably not while you're driving down the highway.
But then, in addition to this plastic jerry can type of thing, and 2 of these Dometic Go jugs will fit in a holder for a single jerry can.
Oh.
But yeah, it was designed specifically for that format.
Okay.
But it also has an option of a power faucet that goes on it. And so we put this thing in the back of the, in the back seat of the truck. The faucet goes into the jug and like draws the water out. And we put a magnet on top of a little ice chest that's also in the back seat of the truck. And so there's water when we need it.
We have ice water on the go. Absolutely.
So it's kind of a cool thing. And it's part of our, we've talked about our overlanding camper rig, and this was a part of that idea, but we're going to use the heck out of it on this trip. And we have a review of it, of course, which we will put a link to in El Nodos de Show.
The snows. What was it?
El Notos de Show.
No,
Show
earlier
notes.
you said
Oh,
below
shoot.
the boats, the boats, the beloats.
Hey, we could be drinking boat drinks.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
Oh boy.
We're
Okay.
inventing our own language over here, everybody.
But speaking of overlanding, isn't that have something to do with your RV this week?
Well, it does. And I got to look at the Mammoth Overland Tallboy. I got a sneak peek of it. And Mammoth Overland is an aircraft company, much like Spartan Aircraft Company was in the 50s. So they make small planes, and they also make RVs. And they made this element. Oh, man, I don't remember now. But they made sort of a small trailer that's sort of like the end of the world edition. But now this Tallboy is really interesting because it's not that big, but it has a bathroom in it. It's got a king size bed. It's got bunks so it could sleep 4.
Is it 2 stories?
No, but it's just, compared to their normal like teardroppy sort of configuration, this is tall. But it's still relatively light. It's built kind of like an aircraft. The kitchen is outside because they said we are overlanders. We like to cook outside.
That's right.
So, but it's kind of a neat rig. And the interesting thing is if you happen to be at one of the Overland Expos this weekend, you can see it in person.
Oh.
And Peggy has been hard at work putting RV events in our calendar at StressLessCamping.com.
Right, including there's 4 different overland expos.
That's crazy.
They're like in 4 different parts of the country, and I don't know if I can remember them all. The one in Oregon, one in Colorado, one in somewhere and somewhere else.
I think the somewhere and somewhere else is where
Arizona and then somewhere pretty far east.
Yeah, I think the Arizona one is where this Mammoth Overland Tallboy is going to be. But
whichever one is coming up this weekend.
Yeah, so check it out. We have information at StressLessCamping.com. And so that's the dilly-illy-alley-o.
Okie dokie. Last week's question of the week. And you guys must not be very creative because we didn't get a lot of answers. We asked,
I know.
What creative places have you found for boondocking? Now, we have talked before about, mooch docking and sisters and aunts' driveways and things like that.
Yep.
And Bill and Brian both had a nice conversation about mooch docking in Tony and Peggy's driveway or backyard. So apparently we are the creative place for boondocking. I don't
know how creative it is, but it's always good to have folks here.
We, of course, have been to Quartzsite on many occasions.
Oh, yeah.
Someone mentioned that they've goosed their boondocking. Ooh. Someone mentioned that they have...
By the way, if you come here, don't goose us.
Someone mentioned that they have boondocked at Gooseneck State Park.
Oh, that's the goose.
And we have been to a lot of places. There's in California is Chiriaco Summit, and it's a little bit east of the Palm Springs area. And there's a military museum there, and there's also like a travel stop and that. But behind the military museum, they allow people to boondock out there in the desert.
Yeah, they have all kinds of military machines, including, half tracks and tanks. So really, if you go there, make sure to say tanks for letting us stay.
There's also, a lot of restaurants and, kind of daytime travel stops like Bravo Farm. Sorry, I almost couldn't remember because we didn't have it written down, but it just came to me. We were going to talk about Pea Soup Anderson's, not the one, unfortunately, that closed in Buellton, but the one in Santanella.
Or Salmonella.
Is a Pea Soup Anderson's, and they will allow you to sleep overnight in the parking lot. And there might be a restaurant, but I'll have to wait until next week because I don't want to give any promises before we try it. So next week I'll tell you if this was a good idea or not. We've also read and heard that churches, casinos, and hotels a lot of times will let you sleep in their parking lot.
I don't get the hotels, even though I know more than one person has said it. But why would you want someone sleeping in your parking lot
and not buying your room?
Buying, you're selling rooms.
Right.
So.
So it's kind of strange to us. But, also because we're from California, in the whole West Coast, BLM, Bureau of Land Management, has so much open space. And in the East, more U.S. Forest Service has a lot of open space. And that's the kind of thing we were hoping to find out. So hopefully maybe more people will answer.
Yeah. And, you can always go and weigh in yourselves on our fun and friendly Stressless Campers Facebook group.
Right.
So that's where these questions and answers appear.
Yeah. So this week, our question of the week is, what pets do you travel with?
I have seen more and more cats.
We have seen a lot of cats. We had a very creative boondocker stay with us last week.
Yeah.
And they had built a catio out of one of the windows in their RV. So we have had friends who travel with birds. And of course dogs.
Yeah, dogs, right? Of course.
But I know there's more answers than that. So let us know what creatures other than your spouse you travel with in your RV.
Yeah, and you can answer that at our fun and friendly Stressless Campers Facebook group.
And do you know, you should know, because we tell you this all the time, but we have a newsletter, and we send it out once a week, and it's absolutely free.
And it's got links to the stories, videos, and podcasts that we think will help you get the most out of your RV experience.
So just visit the website, and on the bottom of every page, you can sign up. And please know that we do not, will not, shall not share your information. We just use that list to send you one email each week, period.
Yep. And the website's also where you'll find the show notes for this episode 255, on the podcast page at StressLessCamping.com.
Also on StressLessCamping.com, don't forget about the deals and discounts page. That's a great page, and it has deals on things you're going to need for your Stressless Camping adventure. And if it's not there already and you know it exists, please reach out and let us know, and maybe we can get more deals on that page.
Yep. And, we are in all those social places, but you can start at StressLessCamping.com. And then from there, we have links to all of the social places that we like to hang out, which is probably the social places where you like to hang out. And, of course, if you don't want to miss a future episode of the Stressless Camping podcast,
it's free.
It is to subscribe on any podcast app. We are always saving you a seat around our virtual campfire. And by the way, again, last week, Brian had asked about Google is sunsetting their podcasting platform. Right. So I think Spotify is a good choice. If you're not on an iPhone or Apple product, if you're on Apple products, then Apple makes they make a good thing. So anyway, that's the story. Morning glory.
And as always, it's a good reminder that a review will help others find the podcast, and then more people will listen, and the more people that listen, the more great guests want to be part of it and talk to all of you. So if you haven't left a review, there's information, there's instructions in the newsletter on how you can do that.
Wow.
And there's also instructions on how you can share. So maybe you've already written a review and you're tired of us asking. But still, if you hear something that you like, or see something on the website, or see something on social media that you like, please share it. We really appreciate that too. I, again, will thank my cousin John and my Aunt Kathy, who share everything we write.
Yeah, I really
and
appreciate
we really do
them.
Appreciate that.
And all of you, of course.
Of course.
So, well, with that, it's a pleasure to be here with you again this week from inside our Rockwood Mini Light. And this is about to hit the road because we're about to take it with us. So maybe we'll see you out there on this adventure.
Maybe.
And that would make this even more awesome. In fact, it would make it
Stressless Camping.